Kevin Hester, you are ridiculous.
The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, we crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Shut up. See that? That's your IQ, buddy. 0.
Hungry Chicago, finally champions on this January day in New Orleans.
This is the Barely Qualified Podcast with your hosts, Nick Lavris, Jason Maxwell, and Drew Bailey.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Barely Qualified. This is Season 2, Episode 16. My name is Nick Lavris, and with me, as always, are Drew Bailey and Jason Maxwell. Well, boys, our Bears are on a 3-game win streak, bringing the record up to 3-2 after beating the Washington Commanders in dramatic fashion on Monday night. We're about to recap all things Bears. We're going to go around the league, and of course, we have a podium list for the people tonight. Before we get to the Bears win, though, I want to talk to you about our friends over at Glen Rock Pop. Barely Qualified is proudly fueled by the fizz of Glen Rock Pop, Lake County's legendary soda revival. Crafted with pure cane sugar poured into glass bottles and bursting with nostalgic flavor, Glen Rock is more than a drink. It's a hometown icon. Whether you're sipping on orange, cream soda, or my personal MVP, the all-new lime, Glen Rock is bringing the joy back to every corner of Lake County. Want to catch their pop-up trailer in action? Follow them at glenrockpop.com, Glen Rock Pop on Facebook, and for the latest event stops. Ready to stock up? Head to glenrockpop.com to find retailers near you. From tailgates to game days, Glen Rock Pop is the ultimate sideline sip. Don't just drink, celebrate. All right, boys. So we got a lot to talk about for this Bears game. We're in the unusual spot where we just have a lot of positive things to say. So let's dive right in. Let's talk Bears. So as I mentioned earlier, the Bears win their third in a row to improve to 3-2. They are over 500 for the first time since they got blown out in Arizona last season, which was, of course, the game after the Washington disaster last season. It's I don't know. It feels good to be over 500. It feels good to see. It feels good to be not, 3 games back in the NFC North after 5 games, after 6 weeks. It's unusual, I feel like, but it's good. I don't know. And I feel like, I don't know, if you talk to us after the Jaguars game last season in London, I think we all probably said the arrow was pointing up, but I do think in retrospect, there were some things that probably weren't going the right way, but I do honestly think the arrow is pointing up right now. Drew, I don't know if you agree or where are you at with the Bears right now being 3-2?
Tic-Tac-Toe, baby. It's 3 in a row.
Already got shot by a Joe, bitch.
Yeah. I don't think there's any reason to not just be psyched about the way that this team is trending, and it is definitely trending up, maybe a little bit earlier than we had thought. Mm-hmm. I know we're going to get to some things later on this week about going forward and even in this show a little bit. But the arrow is 100% trending upwards. Jay hit the nail on the head last week with the win in Las Vegas. How, you win ugly. We've won ugly 2 games in a row now. And it feels like those, again, were games in the past or of the past 5-6 years that you lose as Bears fans. And we know that script and we've seen it. Seeing those turn around definitely means things are trending in the right direction for this organization.
Yeah, 100% agree. Jay, where are you at with your Bears right now, sitting at 3-2?
I'm shocked. I'm surprised. I'm ecstatic. I'm through the roof. That game was great. It was a gutsy performance by literally all 3 phases of the game. The defense keeps on showing up. They're grinding their dicks off. Honestly, I feel on top of the world. I saw a lot of things that we'll break down too, that objectively that shocked me. In the improvements that were being made on both sides of the ball, pressure, lack of pressure on the offensive side, getting pressure from 4 or 5 people rushing in. It was awesome to see. Um, I- Random kicker coming in too was pretty fun. I mean, how many times has it been in the last couple of years where we're on the wrong side of a off kick too? I like even when it was a 30, what was it, 37 yarder? I was like, there's no way. It's not. It's the Bears. We're not going to do it. So it's fun. There's a good energy in there. You get to go to bed happy on a Monday night revenge game. So I was through the roof. It was great.
Yeah, it was great, and I think we've kind of all three or both of you guys have alluded to it already. I don't think anybody here thinks the Bears have played anything close to like a complete game, a game that like you can really put your name on and be proud of. Like it is sloppy. There's some stuff we got to clean up still, and the Bears are still looking at a winning record right now after their third straight win. So let's dive into the game a little bit. First things first, I think we've been talking a lot. Second year in a row, we're calling for this man's head in the first 4 or 5 weeks, and second year in a row, he kind of shows up in a game around this point in the season, and we kind of say, all right, you know what? Let's give this guy the benefit of the doubt. Talk about DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift had a monster game. He was, I mean, the most effective person on the Bears offense by a mile. 14 rushes for 108 yards, also adding 2 catches for 67 yards and a touchdown. Bears offense probably doesn't go without DeAndre Swift on Monday night. So big shout out to DeAndre Swift. Monster game for him. Love to see it. To the point where when they're running they get the ball back in the fourth quarter down by 2 and they're running so much. And we're like, what are we doing? This is bad. We had a conversation. Why are they running so much? Because we're so used to like we have to throw. And we had to step back and be like, hey, this is actually what good teams do here. We don't want the Commanders to have any time left. And we're just not used to being the good team that can like do these.
Control anything.
Like the movie Miracle, where like the Russian coach was like didn't know how to pull his goalie or whatever. Yeah. He doesn't know what to do. That's what we felt like. So it was just it was a mess. But I mean, the credit to Ben Johnson, the coaching staff, and the players because they really pulled it out. Credit. Next thing I want to call out is the offensive line. I mean, we've been, it's been better this year, but it has been still some problems with the offensive line. But man, they were moving people on the up front. They were making holes for DeAndre Swift. I have 3 offensive linemen written down that just really jumped out to me while watching the game. We talked about Darnell Wright in the text thread last night. Like he was absolutely mauling people. Like Darnell Wright was a madman yesterday.
Truly.
Yeah.
Theo Benedict, I thought outside of something we'll talk about later, had himself a nice game where I thought that he, they even said on the broadcast that his strength is more of run blocking, and you can definitely see that come through in the game yesterday. So he was out there blocking people. And Jonah Jackson, I saw him. He was just absolutely like burying people as well. So those 3 guys specifically, nothing against the other 2 guys out there, Drew Dahlman and
Tooney
and Joe Tooney. I'm sure they were doing fine. Nothing really jumped out at me, but those 3 guys like jumped out on tape, like when I was not on tape, but in the game when I was watching the broadcast. So make sure I wanted to shout those guys out. One other thing is that, okay, I have written down the Bears defense continues to get key turnovers, right? Because they do. The Bears win the turnover battle 3-0. Early interception by Brisker on a underthrow, but a still good play. Bill had that fumble in the first quarter, and then of course the pivotal bad exchange, loose, like the rain-soaked ball being fumbled in the fourth quarter that led directly to the game-winning field goal. You keep saying to yourself, like, you can't rely on having, 2-3 turnovers a game, but if they keep doing it, it's crazy. We haven't this defense is just getting turnovers, and I don't like. It's crazy. We need it, and they're doing it, and I'm glad they are. But I still don't know how reliable this is. But one thing about the defense I want to talk about, and I want to get your guys' opinion on it, was that Dennis Allen just had like this run defense in this game, right? The Commanders have a good run game. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Bill, as they call him. Jaden Daniels, one of the best running quarterbacks in the league. Even like McNichols, looked spry out there. This is a good running offense, and I never thought that the Commanders' running game was dominating this game by any means. Looked at the stats. Commanders, I don't know how many times they ran for, but they had like 120 rushing yards, something like that, 124 rushing yards. But it never felt like the Commanders could just run the ball 3 times, get a first down, and move the chains, and just really grind the game down. The Bears defense the Bears run defense really stood up, and I was really happy to see that. It really, like, we talked a lot last week about the Bears in the bye. If Dennis Allen could find a way to get this defense playing better ball, either getting to the passer or stopping the run. They didn't get to Jaden Daniels a ton, but they did have pressure, and they did stop the run pretty well. Again, it wasn't a perfect game, but you can live with stuff like this. So I want to talk to you. I want to go around the horn and talk to you guys and get your guys' opinions on like what you guys saw out of the defense on Monday night. So Jay, what did you see out of the defense on Monday night? I can't hear you.
Having a little audio issue, Jay?
Nope.
Uh-oh.
Drew, why don't you give me
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Jay's gonna figure out an audio issue really quick. Just let us know when you're back. One, you touched on turnovers. 2, you touched on the running game. 3 for me, but maybe 1 overall is the continued spirit of playing bend but don't break.
Mm-hmm.
It never seemed out of hand, like the defense was going to keep us in. And Jay just jumped back in. So Jay, what'd you see out of the defense?
Yeah,
I'll jump back in.
Okay, here we go. We got you. We got you. Yeah, we got you.
Hey, that's nice. For those of you who don't know, I had a little boo-boo and I left my laptop at a library after work. So here we are. We're winging it. Apologies all around. What I was trying to say when my audio was not coming through was that I saw some really great pressure by the tackles, right, and up the middle pressure, both. I mean, stopping the run and then our linebackers filling the gaps, which is refreshing to see because we've been the ones getting mauled consistently. And I mean, shout out to Montez Sweat too. I think he was disrupting things off the edge, and pinching the run back inside as well as getting some actual pressure on Jaden Daniels. So it was nice to see. But I agree with you 100%, Nick. They weren't really just having a steady gash of runs, getting to second and short, second and medium with a run play, and that was huge. I think you look at 30% of their rushing yards came from 2 Jaden Daniels scrambles for 40 plus yards, right? And so that you can live with that. I mean, yeah, you're moving the chains on big rushing, scrambling yards, but I mean that's the name of the game when you're playing against Jaden Daniels. You want to limit the rushing game to have a steady impact on the game, and they did just that. I don't know how. I don't know what team we were watching. Like, it looked like a completely different team up front. And so I don't know how to analyze it other than we'll take it. This, the Commanders front is not bad. It's not. I mean, they came in this game leading the league in rushing yards. And you saw what they did against the Chargers. I know the Chargers have been decimated by injuries, but they're still a formidable defense to a certain degree, right? Especially against the run. So I don't know, whatever Dennis Allen schemed up worked. And God, if we could just build on that and keep that momentum going forward, God bless.
100%. Drew, you got anything to add about the defense?
Nice to see double-digit stacks on the board finally in a game. Although I'm looking at the stat line, and for some reason I see 3 sacks of Jaden Daniels, yet I'm only counting 2 full from the Bears stat line. So something's weird there. But yeah, I mean, we've been calling for pressure a lot. It didn't really seem like the pressure was consistent throughout the entire game. Definitely in the second half, there was some pressure. It was very frustrating. I think I texted you guys multiple times. Like, it seemed like we had our hands on Jaden Daniels, and yeah, that he's just that elusive guy, and I was screaming to tackle him. Yeah. But for lesser quarterbacks or less mobile quarterbacks, that's encouraging to see because those are more than likely sacks. So finally coming together. It looks like Dennis Allen, you give him some time with his players, he's going to create schemes that get the job done. And I mean, how could you turn down 3 turnovers too?
Yeah.
One was a clear mistake on their part, but pressure creates mistakes, and the Bears were putting pressure on them all night. So that's 3 turnovers is just huge.
Yeah. One other thing about the defense, I think I don't know how it helps the pass rusher, definitely the run defense, but getting 2 of your premier starters back this week helps.
Yeah.
Saw Kyler Gordon make his season debut. Actually got burned on that touchdown.
He did. He did.
Yeah,
But we'll give him some
Trying to talk
leeway
about
because I think that he's shown he can do it. It's just first action of the season. And then TJ Edwards also he played at least 1 game already this season, but coming back after some soft tissue stuff. Good to see them out there. TJ Edwards was definitely felt out there. I think he's a very good linebacker. He's a good sideline to sideline guy. Good against the run, effective in pass coverage. So good to see them back out there. I think that helped, but I do think it was more of a scheme or effort, one of the two that really just kind of put the Bears over the top in this game. Cause I don't know, they were getting pressure, which is unusual because we're used to seeing quarterbacks just sit back there, do whatever they need to do. And getting pressure was definitely big for the Bears defense. But speaking of the coaches, I also wanted to talk, another thing I want to talk about, I called it the Ben Johnson effect. You can call it kind of whatever you want. But Drew, you alluded to this earlier, but this is the second game that the Bears have won in a row that was sloppy, not a perfect game. Comes down to the last play of the game or close to it, last 30 seconds. And the Bears have won 2 of those games in a row. These are games that in previous regimes, the Bears lose 100% of the time. So Ben Johnson is building something here. He's got these guys believing that they can win every game they play. And then the second thing I want to talk about, I mentioned this a few weeks ago, kind of half joking because it was only week 2, but the Bears offense is averaging over 25 points a game, which is top 10 in the NFL. I don't know. I mean, you might have to look at Trestman's first year with the Bears to find a year where the Bears offense averaged top 10 in the NFL in points. But I mean, when you put up 25 points a game, if your defense gets marginally better every single game, you're going to win some football games. The Bears have played some good teams. They've played some bad teams. Averaging 25 points a game after 5 games, that's I think that's a big enough sample size to say this offense is actually this. I mean, helping the turnovers that the defense gets help, but this offense can put up points. So that's cool to see. And also, like I said earlier, I don't think this offense is firing on all cylinders yet.
Yep.
We've seen one Caleb game against the Cowboys where he really looks like he put everything together and made the throws he was supposed to make. There's still room for improvement. So this offense, I really do think the sky's the limit for this offense.
Yeah, I agree, Nick. I mean, we were kind of texting around about it. Obviously, scrutiny and there's still some accuracy issues that we kind of picked up on with Caleb. To be fair, though, I mean, that happens for most quarterbacks at least once or twice a game. It does. And let's not forget, too, that, we got 6-7 points taken off the board by a completely ridiculous referee slob job. And it was a beautiful play and to Rome.
Yeah.
That was an elite level NFL play on both sides, quarterback, wide receiver. So there's stuff there. I mean, 25. I'm actually hearing that stat. I'm a little bit shocked that it's 25 points a game because there's a lot that we can nitpick throughout that can make more points available, which is really exciting because those things can get cleaned up. And again, the penalties aren't hurting or helping. Obviously, there's a lot of penalties. We'll get into that about how many of them were probably unwarranted. But those are things that could get cleaned up. And if they are and refined, and we get that, fine grit sandpaper, like you said, the sky's kind of the limit here. And I was not thinking that's what we were going to be saying 3 weeks ago after the start to the season. So it's really encouraging to see that. Really encouraging to see that even when not clicking on all cylinders, we can still grind out 3 wins in a row. So it's a reason to be optimistic if you're a Bears fan, right? It really is, and that's what we need. We need a little glimmer of hope that the future could be bright. And I think we have that.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. Drew, anything you want to add to the Ben Johnson or the offense conversation?
I mean, the energy of him after games is electric right now. It's definitely, it was nice to see to even on, it seems like on field, Ben Johnson is very much, he's all business, even in a win. Like it was nice to see that field goal go through. And then he just had like his side smirk smile looking at everybody. And then amongst his men, amongst his troops, his energy in that locker room post a win is just something that you need to bottle up and sell to the masses. Sell to Eberflus. Figure it out. Like drink Michael's secret stuff, something like that. I mean, he's like the Bears. He's pulling the Bears in the right direction, trending them in the right direction. Where I'm just a little concerned is skating by like this. We need just a stamp statement wins now of like, hey, okay, yeah, I know it's the NFL. You win gritty. You need to have these wins that get you W's during the season. But at the same time, you gotta have some statement wins where it just feels you're controlling every aspect of the game for 4 quarters, and these have felt very shaky. So,
yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that. I think that I was not expecting the Bears to like. I don't expect the Bears to look like a finished product yet. This is still year one with a lot of young players in key positions. So I do think that will come, especially if they keep pulling out these close ones. I mean, you keep winning these close ones, eventually, you're going to get some breaks along the way in the game, and you're going to be able to bury teams. So I do think that's coming. But anyway, that kind of transitions me to my next point I wanted to talk about. Talking about breaks, talking about getting breaks. How about the I want to talk about the referees, the ref show that happened in this game on Monday night. Now, had the Bears lost this game, that would have been my leading talking point, and I'd probably still be talking about it. It's a little bit nullified since the Bears pulled it off, and it's not as big of a deal. It's kind of a little footnote to the story of the game, but it does bear some conversation because, I mean, this has been kind of a league-wide problem. I think the officiating has been like atrocious in the NFL this season.
Yeah.
We've seen some bad officiating. You watch a primetime game, any game you watch, Bears game, any team, doesn't matter. Officiating is terrible. And not even just terrible, but inconsistent, which I think is the worst. Like if it's terrible but consistent, like you can live with that, you kind of like learn what's illegal, what they're going to call, what they're not going to call. But when something is not called 99% of the time, and then you get a touchdown taken off the board because they decide to call it on this one play, that's when it's really pisses me off, the inconsistency, right? It's kind of like, like when you're watching a baseball game and the ump is giving you like the outside corner the whole game, and then all of a sudden it's like bases loaded with 2 outs, you got a guy with 2 strikes, and they throw that pitch and they don't call it, and it's like, whoa, fuck, why didn't we get that call? We've been getting that call all night. So the inconsistency is more my problem with the NFL refs. But I do want to highlight 5 key penalties that were especially suspect at best. The first one, Montez Sweat roughing the passer penalty. Like, technically, by the letter of the law, he did hit him in the head with his hand, right? Yeah. But come on, this league, these athletes are being asked to do things. Like, they have to be so cognizant of where the quarterback is at all times, and it's just very frustrating. I think this is not just a Bears thing, but it's the whole league thing. Like, you finally get an incomplete pass on 3rd down, and there comes a flag to bail him out because he got glanced in the head as the guy was kind of jumping by him. It's fucking bullshit, and I hate those calls. I see one, like, again, this happened to the Bears, and I was mad about it. But like, even if I'm watching a game and it's not the Bears, and I see some of this, I roll my eyes. Like, this league is so fucking soft. It drives me crazy. So yeah, that one pissed me off. And I was actually taking notes during the game, and I wrote bullshit call. Little did I know that was going to be like the smallest of the problems.
Yeah.
So that was a bad one. The Theo Benedict illegal formation penalty. I have gone and I've looked for like the still shots of like the pre-snap stuff. And I think that, yes, I think technically he was probably like 6 inches behind the center, maybe less, like somewhere between like 3 and 6 inches behind the center's. Yeah, behind the center's ass, exactly. But okay, my problem with this play is, one, you never see it called ever. Like this play is never called. They like Joe Buck said on the broadcast something to the effect of like, or maybe it was Troy Aikman. One of them said something to the effect of like, they're really making an emphasis to like stop doing this. I'm like, I never see this called outside of like a preseason game or like maybe like the first game of the season to kind of like set the tone for the season. You never see it called in like the middle of the season like this. And two, that play was a like not even 3-step fade route to Rome that had no bearing on the play whatsoever. It just pisses me off when stuff like that is called, when like, if he was holding even, like I could, that is what it is. You can't hold, but like this had literally nothing, no bearing on like the outcome of the play. And it pisses me off. And I don't know. It takes the touchdown off the board. Drives me crazy.
I mean, middle of the field, in the middle of the field where pass rush is vital on a third down or whatever, even early down set where it's a passing down and a guy is set up off the line or off the center where, a Myles Garrett or who's the guy that went to Green Bay? Micah Parsons, has to get and is lined up way out wide, and you see a tackle off. Okay, call that. That's fine. But on the goal line, on the 2, where that really has no vital reason to be called. Holy shit! Right. You're throwing a flag just to be looked at. And it, by my also comprehension of that, it feels like it was thrown very late because it was at the top. The guy at the top called it, and the pass was thrown to Rome. I didn't see a flag at the start. Yeah, I didn't see a flag when Caleb threw that ball. So awful. Yeah, it was rough.
My biggest gripe with that is just looking at the replay a couple of different times, even on Monday night, they showed the lineup and showed where he was, and that was a borderline call at best if you're the ref. That's a borderline call at best if you're the ref. I mean, that is just so marginally, microscopically trying to impact the game when it's no one wants that. No one wants these pre-snap penalties. If they're close, don't fucking throw the flag. Yeah. The intention of that rule is you are gaining a clear advantage by being in the backfield and you are not lined up on the line of scrimmage. And I've seen some tackles take some far wider stances and deeper stances than that and not get called very consistently in the NFL. Hell, I've seen tackles moving before the snap, and I think that's one thing that I always think is that guy's got a fucking half-second head start and no one throws a flag. And the intention of the rules is to not try to give the offense a clear advantage. There was no clear advantage on there for Theo Benedict lining up where he lined up. So I'm glad that the announcers kind of said a little bit of something I don't know if it was Troy or Joe, but they're like, I'm surprised they called the flag there. In some verbiage of that. Yeah. And because it's normally you'll get a warning before you get the flag. So they're their justification in trying to justify it was, hey, maybe they gave him 2 or 3 warnings. But other than that, that was such a, you said it was 6 inches at best. It's that doesn't warrant a flag, and for that to nullify a touchdown in the NFL, it's don't you want people to get in the end zone anyway? There's just nothing about that made sense. It was very frustrating. I think obviously we have our Bears bias on, but like you said, Nick, it's you see a roughing the passer play, even if you have no skin in the game, it's that's fucking soft. You know what else is soft? That fucking penalty. Let the boys play. No one fucking cares about that shit. That should not be impacting an NFL game when it's that borderline at best.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point.
Rome anytime touchdown. So
I don't know. I had a dynasty league that I lost by 4 points. Guess who I started at wide receiver too? It was wrong. So it fucking lost me the goddamn matchup.
I think you bring up a good point though about the there's no clear advantage there. I think he can make the argument that Theo Bennett in that situation is at a definite disadvantage being lined up that far back, because either it's a run play and he's got to go further to get to the defensive lineman to block him, which is a disadvantage, or the defensive lineman realizes that he's a little further back and knows it's a pass and has like a step on him. So I mean, again, the call was called. It is what it is. But there was I agree. No advantage, definitely a disadvantage to doing that. So stupid, whatever they called it. But listeners, if you think that's where this stops, then you are wrong, because it gets worse. So the next one I want to talk about is another roughing the passer penalty. This one really pissed me off. This one made me furious. I believe it was a third down in the fourth quarter.
Sure was.
Jaquan Brisker, just like I predicted, was playing near the line, blitzing, and he gets almost not touched, but he did get touched a little bit, Jay.
He sure did get touched.
He gets pushed. He's running full speed, and he gets pushed by an offensive, a 350-pound offensive tackle, falls right into Jaden Daniels' knee, and then gets flagged for it. And then Troy Aikman and Joe Buck have the audacity to say, I don't think that should affect him very much. He just got pushed by a guy who's twice his size going full speed. How is that not going to affect him?
Nick, I jumped out of my couch, off of my couch at that one. I was like, what? Who am I? Is this a psyop? Is this testing the general public, to just see what people can get away with? Because that was so am I getting gaslit by the fucking Sunday Night Football crew here? Yeah. Someone they showed it in instant replay multiple times, and they're like, oh yeah, that's pretty clear roughing the call, and when like you said, Nick, when a 350-pound guy pushes you, it really shouldn't impact your motion and how your balance
by the way. You're running full speed, by the way. Yeah.
Am I missing? Are we not? Does Sir Isaac Newton need to get called in and explain gravity to the fucking people? These are basic concepts, man. This is this shall not stand. I could not believe it. And you're right though, Nick. The icing on the cake was everyone's just the announcers are yeah, that's a good call. It's you're showing it in replay that he's getting pushed into his knees. Just because you have a step and a half doesn't mean that you can come to a complete stop. When you're getting pushed from behind, by the way. God help us all. Thank God we got the win, or else this would have been I'm already riled up and we got the win. But it's just blatantly wrong, and and they're trying to just who's never mind, I won't go there. But who's grinding someone's schlong over this stuff? It's fucked up.
Grinding.
Jay, I'm not trying to get you riled up here. That was one that I was actually not it was bad, but it was not one that I was seeing as my number one overall of the picks of the penalties. Bad, albeit I think no matter what, you going low on a quarterback, we all know now, going low wherever you hit a quarterback is just like Nick said in the first one. Unfortunately, it's just 15 yards nowadays if you hit a quarterback in any almost way, shape, or form other than hey, I'm going to greet you, I'm going to shake your hand, I'm going to hug you, and then put you on the ground. And that's it. Very
eloquently. Here's a stuffed teddy bear and a glass of warm fucking milk.
Yeah. So, I can't. It's, again, a soft-ass league for all of this quarterback hitting, but not one that I was just I was willing to throw my remote at the TV and be like, "What the fuck?" Yes, I'm confused at why you have to rewind that so many times to try to justify it as a TV crew, because whatever, move on. It happened, and it was a bad call, but at the same time, quarterback hits are going to be that way 100% of the time.
Yeah, I think the rage for me personally anyway stemmed a lot from like the game situation, right? It was the fourth
Yeah.
quarter, it was a third down, Bears got to stop, and then this had nothing to do with this play. Like Jaquan Brisker hitting his leg had nothing to do with the incomplete pass. And then they get 15 free yards and they get a first down in a key moment where Bears really needed to get the ball back. Again, like Jay said, like I said, it all ends up being fine. The Bears win the game. But I that was a moment where in the moment I was furious. So
It's
but-
just one of those. It's one of those things too. For me, it's like if it's a close play like that, like obviously he's being impacted. Could he have gotten out of the way of it? Maybe. But the maybe's what makes it be like, hey, maybe just hold the fucking flag. Like it did impact it. It did impact his path into the quarterback. And you know, I just don't like those borderline calls. And you're right, Drew. It's like but I also think that's only right because it's been instilled into us that like you have to not touch the quarterback low no matter what. But like the no matter what shouldn't be no matter what. It should be if you're getting impacted and blocked into the quarterback, keep the flag in your belt. You know.
I also
I don't
wouldn't
think
mind
he's-
if like the refs had more conversations with each other. Like they throw the flag because they think they see something, and then they go to the other refs like, "Hey, I saw him hit him in the knees. Did he get pushed? Like, did anybody see him get pushed? Like, if he got pushed, we'll pick this flag up. But if he didn't get pushed, we're gonna leave this flag down. Whatever."
The sad part of it is most of the time that's the back judge who is the chief crew, the crew of the chief. So he sees it. If he says it, he's not going to go to his other guys and be like, "Oh yeah, was he pushed?" Yeah, no, that's why they're back there. Like, I want to protect the quarterback. Like, annoying.
Yeah.
That's true. It is. I love back judge jerseys. It just makes me laugh every time. It just says like BJ in their 7. Just makes me laugh.
BJ 6'9".
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. We're not done. The next penalty that really drove me crazy was the DJ Moore offside, which wiped away a Bears first down late in the fourth quarter. This is another terrible call. DJ Moore, I did look back at the screenshots of this. DJ Moore looked, I mean, if he was offside, it could have been more than 2 inches. Like I nothing from what we saw looked like he was offside. This is the case. I think Washington actually had a situation like this to go to the playoffs a few years ago where Terry got called for offside. I don't know if DJ like checked with the ref to make sure he was onside, but it looked like he was onside. This is another, again, wide receiver offside is a penalty you almost never see. Like this is it's a very uncommon penalty. So yeah, it was stupid. And again, it wiped away a big first down. And again, the thing that these penalties all have in common, because bad calls are going to happen, but it just seemed like every single time the Bears got any momentum going for a big stretch of this game, there was a flag, it was coming back, and it was a bullshit penalty. So I didn't like this call. I don't know. I don't like any of these calls, but I didn't like this call either.
Yeah, I mean, I think I even texted you guys too. Like, I'm not normally one to like be like trash the refs and have that be an excuse to why you have an uphill battle. But I don't remember a game that the Bears played where it was. I don't want to say objectively because maybe I'm not being objective by it, but like I try to take I was like, this is bizarre. If nothing else, this is a bizarre series of penalties that are all just going against the Bears here, and I don't know. It seemed fishy.
I also think Mooj brought up a great point here. Like, there needs to be a review on penalties. Something like you need to be able to throw the flag on it, just like a catch or 2 feet or something like that, where like for procedurals, stuff like this that is being called. We've already shot ourselves in the foot over the first 4 games of the season with procedural penalties, whether it's false starts or holdings or, on a lot of our offensive line, but like stuff that you can measure, stuff that you can see, stuff that like the naked eye might not have, and very close to balls and strikes with the MLB, like stuff that you can see by going back and taking a look at it, even like the Jaquan Brisker. Do we need to review that and see what force was put on him? There needs to be something like that in the NFL for sure. But yeah, stacking all of this, like we were already in a hole with penalties. And I think in our preview show, we were talking about how the penalties need to be cut down. You would have never thought it was going to be because like they were going to stack up again because the refs were just going to say, you know what, sit and spin. Like that was it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my one comment to that, and I do think I get the idea because there needs to be some kind of check on the refs. But a couple of years ago, the refs did try to implement the NFL implemented you can challenge pass interference calls, and that went about as poorly as any rule changes ever existed in sports history. Like every pass interference call was called and upheld. Nothing was ever overturned. The refs can justify everything. So yeah, for these procedural calls, I agree 100%. But like on the roughing the passer stuff, the more subjective things, that would just be really difficult to. But yeah, like the DJ Moore penalty, the Theo Benedict penalty, like yes, those are all anything where like the ball is not actively in play. I think that's probably fair game.
Yeah, pull out Google Maps and chart it. Yeah, what is the alignment? Like
put chips in their shoes, man. That's all we got to do, just like the ball.
Yeah.
But all right, and then of course, one thing. Shout out DJ Moore. Didn't mention this at the top, but DJ Moore was taken to the hospital for a groin injury, which I saw that and it was a little shocking. I'm not really sure what kind of groin injury necessitates a one-night hospital stay, but regardless, DJ Moore did spend the night in the hospital, didn't fly home with the team. But according to Ben Johnson today, he is on the mend. He's back in Chicago day-to-day with that groin injury. So shout out DJ Moore. Rest up that groin, I guess. Get back out there. I don't know. That's weird, right? That's a weird thing that a groin injury goes into the hospital. That's weird.
Yeah, and I didn't even I saw him take a play or two off, but I didn't think that he was hurt, right? And so I don't know when that happened, but that was a weird tidbit to wake up to and see in the Twitter space or X space or whatever, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, I actually have one more penalty I want to talk about before we move on to the next thing. So, a lot of penalties. Nashawn Wright had a face mask on a 3rd and 6, which would have resulted in a punt. Instead, led to a touchdown 4 plays later. I actually don't recall this one off the top of my head. I don't know if it was a bad call or if it was just a bad penalty for the Bears. So I don't know, Drew, did you catch it? Like, what was this a face mask?
Yeah, it was a quick jab at the line where the wide receiver came off, and like. The weird thing was the only camera angle they could find was the back of Nashawn Wright. You couldn't find anything going forward looking from the other side of like where his hand actually was. And you saw obviously wide receiver's head dip down a little bit, but it was like, okay, well, show me a little bit more. Like, let me see that it was definitive towards deserving a 15-yard. Like I could say hands to the face. That's 5 yards, and I don't think a face mask penalty, but like, and it was quick. It was something very quick, and I was dumbfounded that. I mean, it was early, but dumbfounded that like was gonna constitute that much of a penalty. Nashawn, thank God, didn't let it hurt him. He ended up getting that fumble at the end there, but just bad stuff all around, man. Like maybe that constituted a first down, but like someone for a face mask from a cornerback to a wide receiver on the get off, he needs to like grab them right by the mask and shake their head around, not like a quick jab to the face like you're trying to stop him from getting off the line. Crazy.
Yeah, there's just too many suspect calls, too many like way too impactful calls too to just sit well, you know, and all just one-sided. It was weird. It was, you know, tinfoil hats. Like, did the NFL want Jaden Daniels to win this game? You know, that was in the back of my head. Maybe that's a meatball take, but it's very rare you see that many penalties so one-sided and so impactful. You know, third down conversions on 3rd and long, touchdowns off the board. drive killing penalties. It was very bizarre, especially given the circumstance of all of them combined of being like, wait, what? That
Yeah.
what? You know?
Right. Like we haven't. I mean, the I feel like we talk about the Bears penalties, but going into these penalties specifically because this is the first time the Bears have had this many penalties that have like been on just absolute worst time situation, like third downs or touchdowns getting called back or first downs getting called back, things like that. Like these, I just feel like this is an unusual amount of like impact penalties. So anyway, okay, so we talked penalties. Let's talk through some of the Bears. Like I said, Bears win, good game, but there was a lot to clean up. So there are some things I want to talk about, some negative penalties, some negative plays. We're not going to go back into detail, but there were 9 penalties for 84 yards. We just talk about five of them suspect, but still a lot to clean up. I think that the Bears can do. Bears have a lot of penalty problems that kind of had all season, so we need to clean that up. Also, when you have a tendency to get called on penalties, the refs are looking for penalties as well. So this may have been a past performance situation, making the refs look closer. So things to keep in mind. So need to clean up the penalties. Drew Dahlman, who has been pretty good this season at center, had that. It actually wasn't even that bad of a snap on replay. I said it in the text. Bad day, bad time to have a bad snap, but on replay, it kind of looked like Caleb probably should have had it. It wasn't terrible. Anyway, bad snap that turned a 3rd and 1 into a 5-yard loss, followed immediately by a blocked field goal. So that took points off the board. And then this wasn't necessarily a negative play, but I threw it as an honorable mention that Alameda Zacchaeus drop pass was devastating.
Yeah.
Because it honestly, the replay looked like he was just going to be scoring a 90-yard touchdown that play. And it hit him. Like Caleb had his accuracy issues in this game, but that was right on the money. Right in stride. So that was a bit of a bummer. But honestly, like they didn't play a super clean game, but I do think that they, there were some mistakes, but for the most part, I thought it was like, that's really all I got. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to add to that.
Yeah, I texted Paul in the morning and he was like, "Where are you betting on this game?" And I was like, "Oh man, it's tough because I can see the Bears covering the 5.5 or 4.5, probably not winning though unless they get 3 turnovers, and that's what they did. They got 3 turnovers and they won the game by a point, right? And so, the I think the shadow that kind of looms over this 3-game win streak is it's been ugly, and it's been specifically because of the turnover ratio. But on the positive side, how many turnovers did the Bears have that game, right? And you win the turnover battle by not giving up turnovers yourself. So, if there's one thing that Caleb can hang his hat on, and we can rag on him and nitpick on some of his accuracy issues and things like that, and maybe not being on the same page as some of the wide receivers, hopefully that develops. But he's proven that he's not going to turn the ball over a whole heck of a lot, and that's pretty big. I mean, you get the difference between top 15 quarterback and a bottom 15 quarterback is the Geno Smith factor of like, oh, here, take it. Like I'm freaking out and I'm going to throw it right at you. And he's not doing that. And that's what can, get you over the hump. You're getting wanged by the refs, or your offense isn't maybe as maybe you left some points out there, right? I mean, you scored 25 points. That's should be competitive, and it was competitive. Great.
Yeah.
Could they have put up 34? Yeah, probably. But that's not a bad place to be. It sucks having to go from, hey, we only put up 15, we could have gotten 24. It's an okay place to live when you're putting up 25 and you think you could get to 34, right? That you want to be on that side of that gap.
100%. All right. So you brought up Caleb there. I want to talk a little bit. Just Caleb did struggle a little bit, but look at this. He had a good stat line: 17 for 29, 250, 100, a touchdown. Should have had 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, like you said. Not turning the ball over. Good. I still do get a little nervous that he's not on the same page as wide receivers a lot of times. There were a lot of throws that I thought were not great. His accuracy just seemed. It's just I know it was raining. It was a rainy, sloppy game, but I don't know. There was an underthrow to Odunze that really drove me crazy because Odunze had the defense beat pretty bad, and Caleb underthrew him pretty bad. There's a play where Zacchaeus like stopped in a zone coverage, and Caleb thought he was going to keep going, so he missed him there. There was even deep ball to DJ Moore early, where it looked like Caleb tried to back shoulder it when DJ had a step on the corner. So it just feels like there's still this like these like growing pains, which you're going to have with a second year quarterback. But I just, again, I think the moral of this all though is that like, okay, Caleb has some accuracy issues, but the Bears are still winning these games, right? That's really what it comes like. They're not. This is what I'm talking about when I say like, if we could just clean some of this stuff up, this offense can be a 30-point, like a 35-point team a game. They can score a ton of points. We just need to clean up these little things, and they are little things because they're winning with them happening. So we clean these up. I think this offense really is like a rocket ship, and it really can go as high as they want. So that's the reason I bring this up.
Not that I'm I don't know. Not that I'm supporting inaccuracy, but it also, Jay touched on it too. It's not like his inaccuracies are causing turnovers. So
Right.
that's where you'd have a major concern if you're overthrowing the ball and letting it land right softly into a safety's hands, or you're missing on an in route that that goes to the outside and a cornerback comes and picks it off. Like, that's where I would start to get really concerned with Caleb. At least he's taking the shots and trying to use his talent to where he thinks bigger yardage can be gained. If it's short yardage gains, like 5 yards, 7 yards, like Nick, we commented both to each other, like the Zacchaeus early one where Zacchaeus seemed to stop short and Caleb threw it like he was going to keep going. It was a 7-yard gain maximum. Yeah. And you have the ability to gain that back by getting a 12-yard reception on the next one. I'd be really, really concerned if his inaccuracy was causing turnovers or not being like, I'm still a little concerned about the long ball. At times seems like the wide receivers in him or he's underthrowing, but I like the fact that they're calling plays to where he might be inaccurate and it's just not a maximum. You're just not getting a maximum gain of 5 yards. Okay, sure. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, he's missing safely, right? I mean, he's missing safely, and that's a good. If you're gonna miss, you miss safe, and that's
fair.
We'll take it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. He is missing safely. It does seem like he's kind of erring on the side of caution with a lot of his throws, which I'll take that. That's fine. One fun thing I want to talk about is this has been definitely going around social media a lot in the past 24 hours. Does Troy Aikman hate Caleb Williams? Does he hate Chicago? What's going on with that? I mean, I will acknowledge that the second half of the game I had the sound off, so I wasn't really listening. But I have seen, so first my buddy Adam, who we talked about, he's in our Guillotine League, Family Feud guy. I was talking to him. Yeah, I was talking to him today, and he was complaining about it. But he kind of does that sometimes. He hates all commentators. So, and then I started seeing the Twitter memes and the Instagram memes and stuff like that. I was like, man, they really must have been terrible. So, does Troy Aikman hate Caleb Williams? Drew, you're our resident critic of NFL commentators with your Adam Archuleta thoughts. So, why don't you go ahead and give us your thoughts on Troy Aikman?
The only thing I can think of, and this is a great point, I forgot where I pulled it from, is Troy Aikman went to UCLA and Caleb went to USC. A little bit of a rivalry there. Right. So the hard judgment. But the thickness of the comparison of him glazing Jaden Daniels for every little thing that he did, even if it was a 5-yard run that he broke the pocket. And then also I feel like it was more than just Caleb Williams, because Jay pointed out very quickly after the DeAndre Swift touchdown is, yes, it might have been a little bit of a pick, but Troy got on right away in the replay of that and was like, Chicago Bears got really lucky on that one. Are you serious? Like, who says that on a live broadcast instead of like, okay, great play, like touchdown. Yeah. That's the longest touchdown we've scored yet this year, and like got really lucky. Way to flip a coin and it land on the right side for you. Like, it was very confusing, and I'm sick and tired of color commentators now. Especially seeing how much Chris Collinsworth glazed Patrick Mahomes on Sunday night too.
Oh God, yeah,
just awful.
Yeah, the man loves himself some Mahomes. I will push back on the UCLA USC rivalry because I don't think Troy Aikman remembers where he went to college. So I don't think he has the capacity to remember things like that. So I don't think he cares. So so I don't know, Jay, do you have any thoughts on Troy Aikman and his performance last night?
Well, so when I sat down to watch the game and they were kind of going through the pre-games, Margaret and I were on the couch together. The girls were in the other room watching the thing. And I was like, Mark, this is one of my favorite pastimes, favorite games to play when Monday Night Football comes on. It's can we tell visibly that Joe Buck and or Troy Aikman are drunk? And because you just never know. Sometimes you flip a coin, one of them's either on perks or hitting a bottle of scotch. And so you just never know. And if you look up at some YouTube videos of Joe Buck drunk announcing, you'll get some good shots in the well of him just being blasted at like a postseason baseball game. And, here we are, And in Troy's, have a day with that. It's very fun.
Oh, man.
So I don't know. I think maybe Troy was off or on his meds, unprescribed. But no, jokes aside, like it's pretty clear in my eyes that he just does not like Caleb and does not think he's a good quarterback, and that is just coming out pretty blatantly. The meme game as a result of that was fantastic, by the way. There were some pretty good memes about Troy being like, "This guy's an absolute jackass." Like, that's basically what he sounded like in live time.
That's so funny. All right. Well, I think now is the part of the show where I think I mentioned at the top, I think it's time for us to take a second to acknowledge that our Chicago Bears are 3-2, winners of 3 in a row, right in the thick of the NFC North. And we have some winnable games coming up. We're going to talk more about the Saints game later this week because that's who the Bears have at home is the Saints. Go to the Ravens, hopefully without Lamar, but it sounds like he will be back for that game, but maybe he'll be limited. Maybe he won't. Who knows? No Burrow, no Bengals with no Burrow, and the New York Giants. That's your next 4 games. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I think like 6-3 mid-November is not out of the question, right? I mean, 5-4 either way. I think that's still pretty solid based on where we had the Bears projected. So I think now is the point where let's take a second, acknowledge that we're doing this thing, right? The Bears are 3-2, and this is. If you would have taken a pen to the schedule preseason and had like W's and L's written on the season, I think you probably come up around 3-2 after the first 5 games. So we're right on schedule. So we're doing, but everything's fine. Everything's great. No problems, right?
I couldn't agree more. I would have thought that they would have been 2-3 at this point. Honestly, like if you were doing the wins and losses, I would have thought, all right, Packers, Lions, Commanders, they're not winning those, right? And I think the Raiders it was kind of a shoe in, and Dallas was kind of a coin flip. So like I think we're well ahead of schedule here. You get a couple of lucky breaks. There's no Burrow. That turns into a should be win. It's exciting. Like we deserve to relish and live in this optimistic space where we kind of find ourselves a lot of the time. With not actually knowing that there's actually not hope, right. It's like, last year, maybe there was that kind of false hope. Years past, it was like, we're going to crash down to earth. But like, let's relish this moment of optimism. There is a soft schedule ahead. The Bears do look like they're improving week over week. Like, who knows what's going to happen? So let's just fucking enjoy it.
Yeah, if you're holding a 8.5 over 8.5 ticket, that's gotta be plus money on the return right now. I would think, in my mind, just from Vegas standards of, the schedule is starting to turn out in your favor with injuries and the opponents. I will say, as much as we're stressing the next 4 games are, should be wins, you get past that and it looks like we're in for dogfights each week. So you need to shore some things up over the next 4 weeks and make sure you win the winnable games.
Yeah. I mean, Drew, there's a reason why I cut it at 4 when I made my list.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, but I don't know. I think the Bears are in a good spot, and I think they could be in a better spot in the next 4 weeks. So, all right, let's go through real quick. Let's do the grades on the game. Let's grade out our Bears, offense, defense, overall. Jay, what are your grades for the Bears this week?
Ooh, yeah. Offensively, I mean, God, going up. Remember when they were up 13-0? That was like, what is going on? This is awesome. The run game and the offensive line looked like competent, like beyond competent, which was fantastic to see. I love the fact that the Bears won the game because of the run game. I don't remember saying that for a long time. And the schemes were great. Some of those negative plays still got to get cleaned up. I'm not going to put them in the A range. I know it's a nice win, but I'll give them a solid. Hell, I'll give them a B plus. I'll give them a B plus. 25 points on the board. And the B plus comes because I was so blown away, surprised, and pleased with the DeAndre Swift breakout game, and that's how you win football games. I thought that the front 5 and the offensive line showed the hell up. So B plus for me on the offensive side. Do you guys want to go around the horn on the offense, or you want me to just take and run through
it?
Okay.
Run it.
Defensively, defensively, I'm gonna give them an A minus. You get 3 turnovers, you got to kind of be there. They did a really good job up front, and again, big call outs to both the offensive and defensive lines. I think they were specifically the reasons why the game was won. There was pressure. There was the linebackers filling holes and making stops. The defensive tackles plugging holes and allowing to kind of have the linebackers make their stops, right? Close to the line of scrimmage. There's other games, like they're getting moved around, and then our linebacking core is making first contact 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. That's not going to do the job. They were up there at the line of scrimmage or the 1 yard line, and that's how you stop the run. You mix in 2 real turnovers. I'd say one was kind of a gift, but you're putting up another trio of turnovers. I'm going to give that an A minus. And then overall, I'll give it an A minus. I'll give it an A minus for a game. It was sloppy, but it was good. They overcame some really shitty penalties, and I could appreciate that. If that's the kind of effort that the Lions are going to play with, we have a lot to be happy about.
Yeah, I agree. Drew, grade this team.
Yeah, I'm going to be short and sweet. Offense B minus. Great to see the run game finally get prioritized and schemed. I do think that the misses by Caleb are something that downgrades our offense, and a game that I think there was a lot more potential to score a lot more points out there, and just did not get capitalized on, especially when you're kicking 5 field goals in a game. Need to capitalize inside the red zone 100%. So I've got to give them a B minus overall in there. Defense, a solid A. Like, you couldn't ask more from our defense in that game, playing a contender of an NFC team. They take the ball away 3 times, like Jay said, like we've said many times. And then just the continued intensity was something. Like, you could have given up several times. You could have given up on 3rd and 1 when they were going to hand the ball off from a shotgun. And yeah, they made a mistake, but you pounced on it, because if you don't pounce on that ball, it's a punt down into your end zone or your zone, and you got to march 90 yards to just about have a game-winning drive. So, yeah, Love the intensity. And then special teams. Jay, you left out on special teams.
Well, take it away.
Hey, your boy had an average of 53 yards per punt, and he had a very huge one that we needed to get a big 3 and out, and he hit one. So 2 punts for 103 yards or 106 yards. I'll take that. But then Jake Moody, obviously, guy is Eberflus milquetoast in his interview at the end of the game.
Oh, sure.
But hey, if a change of scenery gets you your just desserts and your award as you need it and win a game for us, great. So good for you, kid. So I'm gonna give the special teams an A, and overall it's a B+ for me. Win.
Yeah. So the offense, I echo all your guys' thoughts. The running game looked amazing. The passing game looked fine. Definitely some things to clean up. They definitely left a lot of points on the board by settling for field goals. Offense gets a B- for me. Defense, the defense did everything you asked them to. There was a couple plays. Kyler Gordon got burned on a one-on-one coverage, and then there was some miscommunication in the secondary that led to that long Luke McCaffrey touchdown. Outside of those 2 plays, I thought the Bears defense played outstanding. So I'm going to give the Bears defense an A-, which will take the special teams, give them an A. We had a kick blocked, but that was a bad kick. I think it was really low. So I'm going to give the Bears overall, I'm going to give them a B+ as well. So good game, room for improvement. But yeah, that's Bears talk for this week. So Drew, Jason, not sure what you guys is to do in the next segment, but go ahead and take it away.
What do you like, Jay?
Drew, take us around the league this week.
All right, we'll quickly go around the league. There's some things. We'll touch on the North. Once again, Packers win. Played a fluff of a team in the Bengals. So I'm not going to touch on that very much. We get them in a couple of weeks, so we'll be able to see what that is. But Joe Flacco, yes, Joe Flacco might have something there. Thank you, Joe Flacco, for throwing Jamar Chase a touchdown pass. Resulted in a big one for the man here. Lions surprisingly lost to the Chiefs. That was a controversial, whatever it is, either refs calling for the Chiefs or just more of like the Lions had a terrible game script. It felt like the run has been working for them a lot, and we tried to lean on it against the Chiefs. Didn't work out. Do you guys have any comments on the Juju Smith-Schuster Brian Branch saga in this game? That seemed like 2 playground kids fighting.
Yeah. Listen, I was team Branch on that. I know he did something. I know he instigated and was in the wrong, but man, it's fun to see Juju Smith-Schuster getting thrown around, flopping, and then just completely getting emasculated. Like it was pretty fun to see that he lost on all accounts on that. Obviously, Brian Branch got a suspension, and rightfully so. That was completely like childish behavior, but it was kind of fun to see that happen. Juju, because I don't like Juju, and he's kind of a little bitch, so it was fun to see.
Agreed.
Yeah, nothing else there. Yeah.
No.
Well, one other thing too, actually, because we've been harping on these penalties. I don't know if you saw the Jared Goff touchdown pass that was called back for like illegal motion. I would have to have someone explain that one to me. I didn't see the penalty there. Maybe I missed something. Maybe it was clear, but I didn't catch how that was illegal motion. I thought I could have sworn I've seen that play run multiple times, but I could have missed something. I'm not.
I think it had something to do with him being lined up under center and then running straight out versus being in shotgun and technically in the backfield and running out.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but talk about a late flag. They were they were about to snap the extra point, and that flag came out. It felt like
right, and it just kind of adds to that. Mahomes and Chiefs get all these flags. Like there was some late flags coming in too, and maybe there was a little bit of a hold on a Kelsey streak route, but it's like that flag comes out well after the hold actually took place, once Kelsey kind of throws up his arms, and it's like, guys, the NFL's not doing any justice by throwing these flags this late when everyone kind of sniffs out that the refs are in bed with the Chiefs for half of a decade anyway.
The weird, like the lateness of penalties, it seems like there should only be really one penalty, and I've seen it called late multiple times. We've all seen it called late multiple times because you have to get two aspects of the penalty essentially confirmed, like, and that's intentional grounding.
Yeah.
You're inside the pocket and there was no wide receiver around. You can't watch two things essentially unless it's right straight in front of your face. That, for some reason, like, why would that ever need two people to confirm? You see it right in front of your face, a guy moving, like, that's dumb. Stupid shit. Robot referees. Hashtag. Vikings were on a bye after the London game last week. Busting into the rest of the NFL, I don't know what to take here first, guys. It was a interesting week. The Eagles and Bills tailspins are confusing me. After putting what I thought would be a get right on my overs of the week with the Bills, they just look confused on the field of football. Like, I don't understand this. Josh Allen, maybe it's just, the easy games, again, playing with, Nick said it plenty of times, playing with their food. But what's going on in both Philadelphia and Buffalo? Anyone got any comments there?
Yeah, I got something to say. The Eagles, I don't think are that good, I think is what it is, right? First off, I don't think the Eagles are a very good team. If you look at the Eagles, like, wins this year, they're not super convincing wins. I'm pulling up their schedule right now because I don't remember off the top of my head. Okay, they beat the Chiefs, so that was a good one, but they barely beat the Cowboys, who have one of the worst defenses I've ever seen in my life. And the Rams, there was something weird in the Rams game too. I feel like I don't remember what it was, but I feel like they shouldn't have won the Rams game, but I don't remember what it was. Either way, I don't think the Eagles are a very good team. I'll die on this hill. I don't think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. He might be a good fantasy quarterback, but he's not a good quarterback. You can't have it. Like, you can't have him drop back like 40 times in a game and expect to win that game. That's not, I mean, you're probably not going to win a lot of games throwing the ball 40, 50 times, but still, Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback. He is slightly better Justin Fields is what he is. And that's what I think. So that's problem number one. Problem number two, I think their coaches are morons. I think the years that they're good are I think the years that they're good are the years that he lucks into hiring good like offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. He's got Vic Fangio, so the defense is fine. But the offensive coordinator, every time he hires a good one, they get hired away to a head coaching job, and they have to bring somebody else in who sucks. So I don't think Sirianni's a good coach. I don't think he's not I think he's a defensive guy, but I don't know. He's got Vic Fangio there, and their offense is shitty. So I don't think the Eagles are very good. So I think they'll probably make the playoffs. They're fine. Like, they're not like a great team. But I just don't think the Eagles are as good as their 4-0 record indicated.
It's a weird NFL season. I've never felt an NFL season where I've been like, ooh, this is kind of weird, right? The Bills are and should be an elite team. The last 2 weeks, it's like they were coaching and play calling and scheming things to lose the game, like intentionally lose the game. And again, like, you're going to hear me say this a lot, like, a lot of it's playful, 80% of it's playful. It used to be 95% was playful when I would say this, and now it's 80% playful when I say, like, it's the script. It's the it's the Goodell script, right? It's the WWE portion's kind of coming out, but, like, the skill discrepancy of how the Bills could and should have attacked the last 2 weeks was, like, outrageously bizarre to watch. I do agree with you, Nick. The Eagles, hell, even last year when they went to the Super Bowl and won it, obviously I was wrong as hell because they won the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I was like, there's no way that this team's not this good. Like, it's not that good. The Bills are a different animal, though. The Bills, in my opinion, I think are, like, clearly the cream of the crop in the NFL. And for them, and Nick, you were saying it so perfectly, like kind of playing with their food. It's like win the game, do the things that you can do. You have Josh Allen, run the ball. You have James Cook. And where's James Cook been the last couple of weeks too? Right,
Good
he
question.
didn't have a catch in either game, and he ran for 87 yards yesterday. But like they were playing behind, they couldn't get to that, and that. I don't know. You hate to see the Bills getting carved up by Michael Penix Jr. Like that's just bizarre. And Bijan and London had these monster games, which whatever. But like even if their defense is giving up points, like you expect the Bills against a subpar Atlanta team to be able to be in that game and slice and dice through these teams, and they haven't been. And it's that I don't have an explanation for that one.
Yeah, and it's back to back for them, which is most confusing because it seems like under the bright lights of a night game, you see Josh Allen shine just like in week 1 against the Ravens. You've got a back-to-back against the Patriots. You lose at home, and then you go to Atlanta and lose. I know there was 2 games, but just so confusing.
Yeah.
Jay, you're so right about all parity in the NFL. It's all out the door now that there's no, well, actually, Jets didn't win, right? So
No.
yeah, of course they did.
No,
Yeah,
they're still
so fully defeated teams, but no
The
undefeated
Dolphins too, I
teams.
think,
Like
right?
anything could happen except for the Jets winning. So
no,
the Dolphins-
the
Right.
Dolphins beat the Jets.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
yeah, Dolphins beat the Jets. Yeah,
Ugh.
The
Yeah.
toilet bowl.
anything can happen except for the Jets winning a football game. Congratulations, you played yourself.
Glad we didn't hire that guy. Mike, we got the right coordinator apparently.
Yeah. Oh man.
Just other touches. Cowboys lose to Panthers in the Rico Dowdle game. That dude had a game. Thank God I picked that guy. Nicky put in here, Jerry Jones after the game said, the last thing I'm thinking about is being anyway out of the hunt. If there's a trade that would help the defense, we're in a position to make that trade. Just, hey,
Yeah.
thanks,
Hey
Jerry.
man. Any generational defensive talents out there that want to go play for the Cowboys?
Miles
Yeah,
Garrett, you want to come our way? Sure.
I'd like a really good generational talent, but I just don't want to pay the guy. Get
Yeah.
to the nursing home, Gramps. It's time to go. Get to
Yeah.
bed.
Also, I thought Kenny Clark was supposed to clean up this defensive line. Isn't that why they traded him to a defensive tackle so they could stop the run? That didn't
Yeah.
look great. Oh
God.
man, the Cowboys are a mess.
Quick TV. Do you remember last year? I think they were talking about like the Dak extension, and Jerry Jones was like surrounded by a bunch of media folks, and he was like had his pen and notepad, and someone took a zoom in of what notes he was writing. It was just scribbles on a. It was fucking like chaotic toddler scribbles on this pad. It's like that guy's running the fucking team, dude. Got more money than God, running the team. Flipping fans off, doing whatever he
heart
wants.
rate monitor going off.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. Some notable injuries. We got Fred Warner, dislocated broken ankle, out for season. Like San Francisco is just. I think I sent you guys the right before this. If you didn't watch it, that TikTok of the guy acting like he was Kyle Shanahan watching that go down, and then calling like his staff and being like, "Who do we have? Everyone's injured. Okay, you're fired." Like, that's a tough go. Although Mac Jones has been balling out, that's just a tough fandom to be in. Emeka Buka injured his hamstring after having such a great start. I hope he gets it. Hopes he gets healthy soon. Puka again came back into the game after an ankle injury. Not sure if he's going to go. He's having a generational start too.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow.
So
yeah,
love to see those wide receivers get back healthy. I really quickly want to play with you guys some hot seat games of who's getting fired first. We already saw Brian Callahan fired by the Titans on Monday, much deserved. Like you're not doing anything to help that team.
That guy just looked like a guy who was going to get fired in the middle of the season. Like, they hired him.
He's a patsy.
Just no need to save his name in the memory bank. He won't be here for long.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Lied on the resume, got put on a project, got fired immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
You did this? Okay. You're out.
Yeah. Oh no.
Whatever. Get out.
But okay, so I'm not going to name all the names, but who for you guys? Who's in the next out? Who's next up? Who's making your cut list? I know there's parity in the NFL, so a couple of these teams might win here or there. But Nick, who's your next up?
There's a pretty obvious one. I'm not going to take that one. I'm going to take, I think, Jonathan Gannon in Arizona. I think time's up for him. I think the Cardinals look like a team that also has quit. Like they just can't win football games. He's another guy who just doesn't look like he's like a head coaching material. Like you hear him talk, you see him on the sideline. He just doesn't look like a head coach to me. And their record is atrocious. So just bad.
Yeah, no, I think the common, and I'll take the low hanging fruit one. Like Mike McDaniel's, he's got to be fired, right? Like, and their whole locker room right now is a complete fiasco. It's like, I think what we're starting to learn in NFL coaching kind of lore is you just got to stop hiring the fucking weird nerds and like hire some men that know how to fucking command a locker room. Like, let's get back to the basics. Like, maybe you don't know the X's and O's the best. That's why you have coordinators and rally the fucking troops and be like a general and like rile your fucking team up and coach, obviously. But like McDaniel's on drugs, Gannon's a fucking nerd. Callahan that was someone hired him as a friend. Like someone owed his dad money and it was
Can you guys picture what Brian Callahan looks like? Right now? Just close your eyes. I have no idea. Couldn't tell you.
No.
Could not tell you.
But yeah, I mean, I would say those are probably top two, right? McDaniels and Gannon, because like I feel like that Arizona team could be so much better, but like I always get this like weird feeling in my stomach whenever I see Arizona. It's like, oh God, I wouldn't want to play for that guy. Like you're not getting your best out of me if I'm in that, like, not that mattered, but like, you know what I mean? You can just kind of tell. It's the Eberflus kind of aura where it's like, I guess I'll play football today. You don't want that.
Do you guys remember when Jonathan Gannon got hired? There was that clip of him like meeting his team. And he was like making like pew pew shots. Like, we're gonna take shots. And it's like, oh my God, this fucking guy. What a fucking weirdo.
That's like what your geometry teacher would do, like when you were learning about like fucking
Greg
angles.
Greg Hill.
It's like, what?
But was he also the coach that like he went into the weight room and like was introducing himself to people and they were like, yeah, who are you? It's like, I'm the head coach of this team now. And
it sounds very possible.
Hey, coach.
yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like, this guy fucking sucks.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. All right. Well, that's gonna be fun to see. See some head coaches fired. We always like to see people lose their jobs. But Nick, you had down here too. Trade deadline looms. We'll see what happens. I think as it gets closer, we'll probably talk a little bit on these review shows of what we might need, where the holes could be if we're in contention. So we'll get down to that. But anything else around the NFL that you guys wanted to touch on?
The one thing that we didn't really touch on, speaking of Mike McDaniel, is the Dolphins. Like, they lost again, and Tua calls out the entire team into the media, and it just seems like there is just an implosion of that team, even more so than there was previous to that. Like, Mike McDaniel has had to come out and kind of like say Tua should have done that too. Like, and anyway, if you didn't hear, Tua basically said that people aren't coming to their team, their player only meetings. And they're like, it's just like, oh God, this is one that's very sad that you guys are having multiple player only meetings in weeks, but like by week 6, that's not good. And two, like when you're like the quarterback of a team and you can't get your team to come to a meeting, like that just kind of reflects very poorly on you as like a natural leader of the team. Everyone looks at the quarterback as a leader, whether they like it or not. So just a absolute disaster going on in Miami.
3, and I didn't want to get into this because I didn't want to wish on it, and I don't want to ever put this out in the world for anyone's health or safety. If you could bet on Tua Tagovailoa getting a concussion this week because his offensive line is not going to block for him, this is the week, because literally you don't do that. You don't go out to the media and say that, because your ass is going to get absolutely Pat Whited next weekend.
Just take all the Tua's unders this week.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember there was like a clip from a college team? I think it was like Florida State a couple years back, where like the quarterback hiked the ball, and none of the offensive line moved. They just all stood there, and like just the quarterback got absolutely demolished. It's like, well, that's gonna happen this week.
Got to send a message.
Yep.
Yep. But that's it. Yeah, that was just something that I thought. Oh, what a train wreck.
Yeah.
At least we're not Miami.
I was gonna say, at least it's not happening to us, right? And we got the guy. If we can come away with this, we know we have the guy, guys. 5 weeks in, like, this is a generational coach in the making. I've never felt more confident. Well, maybe when Nagy was around, which is sad to say for that first year, that was pretty cool. Like, but that crumbled quickly. But like, this is different. This is like palpably different.
I agree with you. I think it is different, and I think it's like notably. You can like you look back on the Nagy year, like the 2018 season. It was a dominating defense that he had nothing to do with. The offense wasn't even really that great that season, right? And there was a lot of gimmick stuff, like a lot of trick plays and stuff like that. They had like the club dub like gimmicks and all that stuff that they always did if they won. I don't know, like you look at the Ben Johnson locker rooms after they win games, and it's just like fight and I don't know. I don't want to say passion, but kind of passion, right? And like heart and stuff like that. So it just seems different. It does seem different. I think in the midst of it, we thought Nagy was the guy. I look at Ben Johnson. I'm happy he's here, and I think that the Bears made the right choice. And I believe in Ben Johnson. So,
yeah, man, those post game celebrations after those wins is like fucking Braveheart stuff. It's awesome.
It's must see. Like I look for those every time the Bears win a game because I love them. Like I watch every single one like 10 times each. Like they're so good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for all of our around the league stuff. Now we're going to dive into our favorite segment, our podium list segment. But before we do that, this week's podium list is brought to you by Caden's Kitchen. Hey, food lovers, looking for your next unforgettable dining experience? Then head on down to Caden's Kitchen in downtown Downers Grove and tell them the BQ boys sent you. With a menu that changes seasonally, Caden's Kitchen is serving up locally sourced, fresh ingredients that'll have your taste buds dancing. And don't forget about the incredible cocktail list that Caden's offers too. Next time you're in Downers Grove or the surrounding area, do yourself a favor and check out Caden's Kitchen. You can make a reservation online at cadenskitchen.co and follow them on Instagram at cadenskitchen.co. Shout out Caden's Kitchen. So we're going to dive into our podium list now with Halloween and spooky season coming up. We are going to get into a Halloween-themed podium list, one that I trust was probably pretty easy to put together for you guys. I put my list together in about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
We are doing the best trick-or-treat candy. And for those, again, the order is we're going to go, the first round is going to be Nick, J, Drew, and then silver round is going to go Drew, Nick, J, and then the bronze is going to go J, Drew, Nick. So, best trick-or-treat Halloween candy. This is a big holiday for dads. Jay, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, my kids are very picky eaters. They like 5 things. Everything else comes to dad. So, I have like a reinvigorated love for Halloween.
Hell yes.
So, anyway, we're going to do best trick-or-treat candy, and I'm actually on the clock. So, I'm going to take my 1-1 pick, and I apologize if you guys had this high. I'm taking the Reese's Pumpkins, specifically the pumpkin ones.
Oh, wow.
They're the best. I love those things. The peanut butter to chocolate ratio on those is perfect. I'll eat 15 of those in a sitting easy. So give me the Reese's Pumpkins specifically.
Yeah.
Any of the Reese's shaped ones, I love those.
Goated.
Reese's in general, right? Like we're not going.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But you're specific, yeah. It's
Yeah.
not like I could go Reese's cups right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean that was that. I don't think there's ever been a lock more than that. So you're a great pick. And I will also say, if in the battle of Reese's shapes and deviations, I'm a big egg guy. I'm a big
Eggs are
Reese's
good.
egg guy at Easter time for whatever reason. It floats me boat.
The eggs are good. The Christmas trees are good.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I mean
the eggs,
it's ideal.
yeah, it's so good.
No, go. Keep going, Jay.
No, I didn't have anything to add there.
The one thing that it was my one of one. The one thing I can't take is the oversized.
Nah, yes,
The giant ones. Like
The ratios
big
are-
cup. Big cup.
the chocolate to peanut butter ratio in just a standard cup or pumpkin or anything, perfect.
Yeah.
But when you get into a giant one and you don't have that as much chocolate, it feels like you're just eating a peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Too much.
I totally agree.
100%.
Yeah, got to lock those weirdos up with it like that one. It's a crime.
Yeah. Put them on a
Who
list.
buys that?
I don't know. I'll step in and do my 1.2. So my gold. And gosh darn it, I bought 3 massive bags of candy like a week ago already, and that's always such just a bad idea because I'm like halfway through a bag already, and there's no like I'm gonna be making another. So like Halloween's not that close.
Candy go.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, here's have a eraser or something. Like I mean, a pencil and eraser. I don't know, but I have been inhaling all of the mini Kit Kats. I love them. I don't know why, but it's only the small ones. I'll never go to a store and actually buy like a king size Kit Kat bar. No, that's not true. I will from time to time. I much prefer the 2-stick little combo, and you just pop those in and just have a good time. So give me the Kit Kat.
Yeah, great pick.
You can't miss on this, and we're not doing any like king size, those sorts of things. Like
This is
Kit
the
Kat,
trick or
like
candy. Yeah.
yeah, your normal 2 bars of Kit Kat, you can inhale those with the wafer in there. Like, yeah, easy. And that's one that I would take a big Kit Kat because the wafer never outpowers the chocolate. That works for me. So great pick, Jay.
Great ratio.
Good ratio. The I'm going upset pick of my 1 of 3 because I had a feeling you both were going with that. This is Jenny and my favorite candy, and it's an amalgamation of kind of both of your picks, a little bit more of an add on Nick's, is the Take 5.
Take 5.
Ooh,
Take 5.
Deep cut, but a great cut.
Give me the chocolate, give me the peanut butter, and give me that pretzel in there with that extra crunch to give me something. So I had to take. I don't think you guys had Take 5 on there, but I need to take it because it's my favorite candy by far.
That's a good one.
Candy.
I did not have that on there by any means, but that is a stellar pick.
All right, and lineup had to change it just a little bit because
was I off?
It's 2-3-1 Jay, Drew, Nick. So Jay, you're going into your next pick, second round.
Hell yes. Okay. And I feel like in Halloween lore, you're kind of team chocolate or team sour or like fruit, Starburst and everything. I'm definitely in I'm in the chocolate corner pretty hard, and I'm gonna go with the Snickers. You get the Snickers bar, and that's hollow ground. I would say my top 3 would be the showstoppers, right? You get your Reese's, your Kit Kat, your Snickers, and kind of that chocolate world. And damn it, if you go through a variety pack, I keep on going back to the Snickers, it's until they run out. So it's a little bit boring. I know it's pretty vanilla pick, but it's what I do. So that's I got to stay true with what I like, and it's the Snickers.
You're hungry. Eat a Snickers.
Oops.
I've always if this was a straight up candy bar brand, like podium list, I think Snickers would have been my 1-1 over Reese's, because I think Snickers is just the best candy. But when I think about trick or treating, I go with Reese's. But I think Snickers is like the best candy bar out there. It's got everything you could want in a candy bar. Maybe a Take 5 could be up there too, but a Snickers is just so good.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I went with second. Is for me is going to be, you want the left, you want the right, what do you got? Give me the Twix. Give me the Twix with that crunch wafer and the caramel or caramel, however you say it out there. It's all acceptable in the barely qualified realm. But yeah, I gotta have those. You love unfortunately in the smaller packs of Halloween, you only get one bar, but I'd love to get two. Give me the left and right.
Yeah.
Twix is a great pick. I had it pretty high on my list. I love caramel, so that's like right up my alley. So I love a good Twix bar. So my silver pick, I'm going to go kind of a different direction. I'm going to take a slight step out of the candy bar area, but we're still going to stay in the chocolate candy. I'm going to take a bag of peanut M&Ms, like those little bags of peanut M&Ms. I love peanut M&Ms. It's like one of my favorite candies. You just get a bag of those. You just pop them in. It's like you're not even eating anything, it's like it doesn't count. So I love peanut M&Ms. I think there's some other M&Ms that I think people like more, but I think in my opinion, peanut M&Ms are the best M&Ms that exist. I love peanut M&Ms. So yes.
Don't get too fancy. Don't get into the peanut butter M&Ms. Don't get in the almonds, anything. Yeah. Peanut M&Ms straight up. Yeah. I had that next, Nick. And funny story is my uncle, who semi-watches this show, used to have a jar of peanut M&Ms next to his bedside whenever we would go over to his. And Jay's unwrapping a little candy right now. Might be an allusion to his next pick, but the thing was we'd always sneak up to his room because he had those, and we'd just sit in there and be like, "Where's Drew at? Oh yeah, he's eating his peanut M&Ms. Who cares what time of day it is?"
Yeah,
thanks, Barney.
When we potty trained both of my kids, we used peanut M&Ms as like bribery to get them to do it. And
dog treats, trickle them around the toilet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they would inevitably just end up being eaten by me late night. So it worked. It worked. Kids are potty trained. Everything worked out there. But I did eat a lot of M&Ms in that time frame. So,
one of my buddies texted me a couple months ago. And the Costco was doing a thing where they were selling like massive bags of M&Ms, but it was a combination of all the M&Ms. So you had the regulars, the peanut, the peanut butter, the crunch, and I was like, that would be fun. I don't know. I guess you could just do that, buy like the package and combine them in a bowl. But I was like, damn, something about that bag, I wanted it bad.
A nice M&M salad.
Oh man!
All right, Drew. Let's go over to bronze.
Bronze, we're doing the solid 95 mile per hour fastball right down the middle here with this, and one that I constantly it can fit into any realm of Halloween candy, or if you're making s'mores, give me a stock standard Hershey bar. Something about just like Jay said earlier about chocolate, going with chocolate standard. And having that 4-piece Hershey bar that you can just chew off each piece and suck it down. Yeah, it's great. I'm taking Hershey bar.
I love a good Hershey bar.
You got to go with the basics sometimes. Some would call it the missionary position of candy, but you gotta see it go through the net sometimes.
It's true, but it is. I mean, I love a Hershey bar. It's so good. You don't see the ones with the almonds around Halloween, but I love our good Hershey bar with almonds, though.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
Dude, a cookies and cream Hershey bar too is elite.
You eat 3 of those though, you have a headache and you feel.
Oh yeah,
you could eat regular Hershey's all day though.
Yeah,
not that I know from experience, but anyway. All right, I'm gonna go. I don't think this is as. It's probably not as. We've got some big heavy hitters up on our board so far. My bronze pick is going to be one of. It's well known, but it's not as big of a heavy hitter. I mentioned earlier I love caramel, so my bronze pick is going to be a Rolo. I've been getting a lot of like Rolo, like single Rolos in like the little
Yes.
bags for Halloween. So I love Rolos. One of my like favorite movie snacks if you can get the unwrapped Rolos, because obviously unwrapping each one is a huge pain in the ass, but unwrapped Rolos is an elite movie snack. So
It really is, man. God, movie snacks too, dude. That might have to be a podium list coming up soon too. 'Cause that is a fun one.
my movie snacks is very similar to my trick or treat candy
Yeah.
list.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a
But-
good one.
All right, Jay, finish us off. Is chocolate gonna take the whole thing?
You know, I'm between two, and one of them's very serial killer-y, and I'm gonna save that for an honorable mention because this is my favorite actual candy of all time. So I'm gonna put it in there in the Halloween list. It's different for Halloween, you know. So I'm putting it in the bronze level. But Swedish Fish, I'm deviating from the chocolate. I love Swedish Fish so much. My
Okay.
kids don't, and that is very beneficial to me. Although
Yeah.
Swedish Fish is kind of it's a hard to come by Halloween one. That's not always in the mix, but I mean that is my elite. That is my absolute go-to movie candy though. Is Swedish Fish. So I'll throw that in there in the bronze spot.
Yeah. All right. I had a couple. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I have another real quick just quip of probably when I was in sophomore year of high school, I wished for the Swedish Fish mega bag for Christmas.
Yeah.
I was awarded it from my mother, and my father immediately took that away, hid it, put it in the freezer, as he did with all of our Halloween candy, but this was Christmas. And it was, I mean, I was in love with Swedish Fish back in the day. So great pick, Jay. Yeah. And if you're a dad out there that freezes Halloween candy for your children, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh man. Yeah, I have a couple honorable mentions. Jay, sound like you did too. So one that I don't know why, like my wife gives me shit about this one. I love banana Laffy Taffy. Love banana Laffy Taffy. Nobody else in my house does, so every time it comes in the house, it comes straight to me, which is awesome. I also have Milk Duds on here. You get like the little like six little like the little pack of Milk Duds, like 6 of them in there.
Yep.
Love that. And something I've been seeing a lot lately are like the little mini Rice Krispie treats coming like for Halloween. So I'll go to town on one of those too.
Oh,
Jay,
absolutely.
do you have any honorable mentions, Jay?
I did. I love this is the serial killer one that I was gonna kind of throw out there, but I fucking love Almond Joys, and I love them as Halloween candy too. You get that one almond in there, the coconut and the chocolate. I love them, and no one. I feel like there's like somewhat polarizing one. No one in my family enjoys them, so those all come straight to me, and I am happy as hell when that happens. Butterfinger as well. That was my favorite candy bar growing up. As I've gotten older, it's just gotten more and more annoying. Nostalgia wins, though. I still love that. I just had one because I just went into the bag of Halloween candy and ate some more candy during the show. And then, I don't know. I don't love like I said, I don't love like the fruity candies, but you get a 2-pack of Starburst. That's just a Halloween stay. That is going to be everywhere, all times, and you hope you get like I would always hope it was the pink and the orange combo, smush them together, eat it down, have a good time.
Yeah. Sour Patch Kids were on there for me for a little bit, and I'm a fan sometimes of the Whopper.
Sure.
Pack of Whopper.
Milk ball, absolutely.
I want to, what I do not necessarily want to run it back, but I'd love if we came back to this topic and don't be that guy and hand out X candy or hand out this during Halloween. Like we've all gotten to a house where it's been like, oh, we're handing out toothbrushes. Yeah.
Yep. I had a dentist on my block. It was fucking toothbrushes. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
One time a year. Don't be that
Don't,
guy.
and don't pop popcorn in your microwave and put them in Ziploc bags and hand them out either. Like, don't do that. Nobody wants that.
No.
Also, don't give me a Three Musketeers bar. Okay, you give me that, you're out of here.
Yeah, I'm surprised no Three Musketeers. I don't like Three Musketeers either, but I assume other people do. Also, no Milky Way on here, which is kind of a shocker since we picked pretty much every other main candy bar that exists. So, so anyway, all right. Well, that was fun, boys. We'll get that graphic out. You guys can vote on it. I think this is. I mean, this is just preference. I don't think there's anybody really has a better than other people board. I think we all love all the candy picked. So, good job all around. We're coming close to the end of the show here, so I'm going to kick it around the horn once again. We're going to do our closing thoughts. Drew, why don't you give us your closing thoughts?
Yeah, getting really close to the wire here, boys, on a couple of big moments in the life here. We're moving on Friday and expecting a child in the next month. So my biggest closing thought of the next, couple of shows for me is going to be just continuing to focus on the positives of the Chicago Bears. It's really bringing me joy to see this team somewhat ahead of schedule. And I just want to round this out to say, take the little wins in the enjoyment as much as you can, because we've seen as Chicago Bears fans how quickly this can turn and how quickly a season can just kind of deflate you. So take the wins while they come. This is the first 3-game winning streak we've seen in quite a while now. So be positive while you're out there. Continue to watch Bears games with a vengeance. And I will say, I'm going to start doing something that I've done in another chat for you boys here. And not saying I'm the full purpose for any wins, but we are running 100% on wins when I do this. I will be shotgunning or beer eagling before a game and at halftime, because that has proven to be a winning recipe for here. So I will continue. I will send out pictures when I am doing that before the game and at halftime for all of you.
Yeah, that's a hell of a sacrifice for you to make on behalf of us.
Yeah, thank you for your service.
My wife
thank
loves
you
that.
for your service.
Who loves it?
There.
Yeah, I just imagine you sitting in your house with just you and Jenny, and just get up and leave. Where are you going, Drew? Sorry, babe, I gotta go shotgun my halftime beer really quick. I'll be right back.
Gotta fall on that sword. Gotta fall on it.
Yeah.
We thank you for that. That is, very brave.
Oh man.
All right, Jay, closing thoughts.
So last night when was watching the Bears game before I put the kids to bed, my youngest Tessa's 2.5, and she kind of wilded her way upstairs. Margaret was reading her book, and I was watching the game, and you have that 3 minutes oh shit, where's Tessa? So Margaret kind of scampered upstairs. She was in her room, and somehow she got a hold of a Sharpie marker, one of those Sharpie permanent markers, and just went to town. And 3 minutes is a long time with a Sharpie in your hand. There's a lot of stuff that got Sharpie on it in that room and on her legs as well. So we had some laughs, some cries, but I just built a new bunk bed for them, and put together and assembled a new bunk bed for them. And that bunk bed is just shred. The sheets, everything in that room's got Sharpie on it. So it's not going anywhere anytime soon. We tried some nail polish remover and alcohol, and it kind of did a decent job. So hats off to my wife for having that idea. I didn't even know, but it was pretty fun. You got a toddler. I suppose my advice would be to keep eyes on them rather than just to not. But that's what happens. Harmless. It's fun. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, it's a good story.
Yeah.
It's my kid got loose with. Luckily, it was just like a Crayola marker once. And Jack, my oldest, this is before my second was born, so we were just the two, Kate and I, and we just lost Jack. He was probably about the same age, and he went upstairs and just colored the wall solid, basically. Like he just colored the shit out of the wall. But yeah, it came off super easy. It's just the fun stuff, you know.
Yeah, good times.
But yeah. All right. So for me, my closing thoughts also about my kids. My oldest, Jack, who is 7.5. He this is the first season where he's really into football. He's like actually sitting down on Sundays and watching football with me, and you know, he watched the Monday night game with me until bedtime and all that stuff. And he actually is like sitting down and watching and like being a fan of the game, which is cool. The problem is he's also at an age where like he's not necessarily being the Bears fan that I want him to be. He's kind of just picking the team that has the cooler uniforms or whatever piques his interest at that time. He's changed favorite teams probably 4 times this season. He was a Dolphins fan. He's been a Lions fan. He's now a Falcons fan, I think is his team. It may have changed. I'm not really sure. But what I keep telling him is that he can be a fan of whatever team he wants, and I don't care. But I will not buy him Falcons gear. I will not buy him Dolphins gear. I will not buy him any of that stuff. If he wants to be that's basically my way of bribing him into being a Bears fan.
Correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if he wants any gear, he can get Bears gear. If he wants Falcons gear, he can save up his money, which he makes none of because he's 7.5. So yeah, just little parenting trick that I'm doing is trying to bribe my kid to being a Bears fan.
Completely fair. It's the right play. So stay strong in that regard.
Yeah.
Have to.
Cool. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Barely Qualified. For Drew Bailey and Jason Maxwell, I'm Nick Lavris. Thanks for listening, and as always, we will catch you on the flip side.
Thank you for listening to the Barely Qualified podcast. Like, comment, subscribe for more on a bi-weekly basis.